Hello, I hope y'all have had a good week. And I had been working on some of my songs, but I really didn't get them like I wanted to. And I found a story of mothers that I'm going to share today. Uh, she wrote stories and poems, and I have a little book here that one of my sisters made, and there were 7 of us, and she wrote one. I am going to read this here. It's my 7. When your dad and I are gone, at rest with God in heaven, may you always be able to say, we are 7. You will need each other then in your quest for heaven. As your guide upon this earth, remember, you are 7. May God's own chosen number help guide you on your way as you strive each day to reach that cherished perfect day. My prayers are with you wherever you may go. You are a blessing to me, my own precious 7. And after Mother passed in 2001, before that, we always would get together for Mother's birthday. But after she passed, all 7 of us get together every year somewhere. Each year a different one decides as to where we go and sets it up. But this year we won't be doing it. So all of a sudden, after this has brought us all together, talking back and forth and back and forth. This year's story, along with a map where we lived 72 years ago, and everybody's trying to find it. Me, I'm telling my memory of what I can remember, because I'm the oldest and that can remember anything. My older sister, 3 years older than me, I'm number 2. Well, she has dementia, so she can't join in. Although Friday is her 84th birthday, and I'm going to go there and see and tell her all these things and see if what she can come up with. It might spark a memory in her. And all of this has caused us to feel that this month we have had a virtual reunion. And so, Mother, my thing is going to be, I haven't decided what the title of it is, but you will see it. But we feel like Mama has given us this reunion this year. And that's why I'm honoring her by reading her story. Now, this story is not names of us and all, but it is about Mama's life. John, my husband, had been sick for so long that money was something we only dreamed about. And there were 7 boys and girls to clothe and keep in school. Joy, our oldest daughter, was a senior in high school. If we could just manage until she was through school and got a job, she'd be able to help with the other 6 children. This was my brightest hope, for I could not see much hope of John ever being better and able to work again. I had to turn to the government for aid to dependent children, but John insisted that the children must have hot lunches at school. That cold lunches and going straight to the field without food was the beginning of his trouble. He did not have a mother to fix lunches or have food prepared for him when he came in from school. Joy came into the house a few days before Christmas saying, "I've got a job, Mother. I can work at the dime store on Saturdays from now until Christmas." "Good, at least you can get your graduating dress and some of the things you need," I replied, thinking of the expenses we'll have to meet in the few short months. If you do real well, maybe they'll keep you on after Christmas on Saturdays. "I hope so anyway," answered Joy. Oh, the faith of that girl. What would I do without her? I thought. Even so, Christmas loomed dark and gloomy. It isn't easy to meet the downcast eyes of those precious little ones on Christmas morning. John and Joy found and brought home a cedar tree that a kind neighbor told them they might cut. Joy and the other children popped popcorn that Joy had brought from work. She also had a package of colored paper and some paste. When they finished, they had a fairly decent Christmas tree. They were real proud of it, and I fought to keep back my tears. Now, what could we put on it? I wondered. It would surely be bare, except for the children's things. So John came home on Christmas Eve and said, "Get the children ready and I'll take them up to see Santa Claus and let them see the town all decorated. You want to go?" "No, I do not want to go for Christmas this year. I don't feel like going either. You shouldn't go either. You'll end up in the hospital on Christmas Day," I replied. "Oh, I will make it," he said. I can't just lie around all the time." You know the doctor said for you to stay off of your feet and not exhaust yourself. He said, get the children ready. If you wish to stay here and fume, that's your business. But the children and I are going to see Christmas. And John stalked out of the house. It'll just make it worse for them, I said to the walls as he left. John and the children were gone way into the night, but then they were waiting to bring Joy home to keep from saving another trip. I should have gone with him. 5-year-old Danny, he'll run John to death, I thought. When they came in, John went directly to bed. The 3 smaller children soon followed. Aren't you coming to bed, Joy? I asked. When I finish reading this, Mother, she replied, looking through a magazine one of the girls had given her. You go on to bed. Don't stay up too late, I said, thinking of the small amount of candy that I planned to put under the tree for the children. I won't, Mother. Now don't worry about me. Go on to bed. The next morning, I softly tiptoed into the kitchen and got the candy, a few nuts, and the fruit I'd managed to buy from my grocery allowance, also a small toy from each of the children. I'd been putting aside a nickel here and a dime there to get it all, but oh, how little it seemed. I couldn't bear to think of the sad little faces that would greet me when the children awoke to find so little under their Christmas tree. I didn't turn on the lights for fear of waking them, but put everything under the tree with each one's name on the small present. I went back to bed and was soon fast asleep. Merry Christmas, Mommy, little Danny cried, shaking me to wake me up. Merry Christmas, son, I answered, crawling out of bed. See what Santa brought me, said Danny, holding up his little car as proudly as if it was the expensive train set that I knew he wanted. Bang, bang, shouted John Jr., not a word of reproof that the small gun was not the .22 rifle he had insisted on getting. See my baby doll, joined in Sarah, my own little baby doll. Come see what you've got, Mama. And there under the tree for me was a small gift from each of the children, brought from the $1 that their father and Joy had given them to spend as they pleased. From little Danny's was a sponge to help me keep my kitchen clean, and from each of the others a similar gift to make housekeeping easier for me, or a pretty handkerchief, or a Christmas bouquet, even a dime store pair of earbobs. They also gave each other gifts. How could $1 go so far, and how could they manage to remember to get one for each in the family? I was truly astonished. Best of all was the happy looks on their little faces, the pure joy they were getting out of seeing my surprise at each being able to give, even though the gift was ever so small. Many Christmases have gone since that Christmas day. Each of the children have married and have jobs or husbands with jobs and better than average incomes. John, too, found a job that he could fill within his limited ability. We now own our home free of any mortgage. 4 of the children have some college work to their credits, and our youngest daughter has been teaching now for 3 years. I bow my head in humbleness when I think how wonderful God has been to us. Even so, I know that I shall never have a more beautiful, more wonderful Christmas than that Christmas when my little ones learned the joy of giving with only $1 of their own to spend. Even now, our greatest thrill comes from taking the 5- and 6-year-old grandchildren Christmas shopping whenever we can. Last Christmas, we gave money to our 6-year-old twin grandsons and our little 6-year-old granddaughter when they insisted that we take them Christmas shopping. John went with the boys and I went with little Susie. The boys went through the cashier line 6 times. Then they all pooled their remaining pennies for candy and chewing gum. Now all of this here I don't remember this happening, but I do remember some things that my younger brothers and sisters said that did go. One time they were given $1 each, and it was in the 50s, and then you could, 10 cents, you didn't have to pay taxes. So they would get something, go through it for 10 cents, come back and get the others, went all the way through to keep from paying taxes. And my younger sister said that she had 9 cents left, and she was saying, I wish I had another penny. Some lady heard her and came and said, honey, I'll give you a penny. So she was able to go through and get the last present she wanted to get. And so that was part of their life. And it was kind of sad because my mother had been a teacher in her Georgia and didn't marry till 26 years old, and then things were very rough for them then. And praise the Lord, she's in heaven now. And the map I'm going to talk about next week, because we've been trying and trying to find, and we're getting some progress. I think we've maybe found a person that we can know as to where that house was. It was a 160-acre farm. And so I'll tell you all about that next week. Have a good week.